Test. Oh gosh. Test, test, test. Test, test. Test, 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 test. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Ooh. Am I actually live right now? Oh dear, I'm sitting here just saying hello, hello, hello as I fiddle with my microphone. It's a little different from Facebook. All right, well, hello. Welcome to Breathwood. My name is David Yates, and I've had a massive breakthrough that I can't wait to share. And instead of attempting to craft some kind of, complete video, I'm just going to share what's happening in this moment as I make this discovery for my playing. I'm live, yes. So as I begin to play some Didge here, let me know how it sounds. I want to make sure you can hear me clearly. You'll lose out on some of the frequency of the sound if you're not using headphones or speakers. Okay, so highly recommended, or earbuds. So let's do a sound test. Hello, those of you who are there. Thanks for being here. Okay, so how is that? Do I want to be that low? Oh, I want to be lower. Woo! Okay. I'm going to try not to smash into my stand. Maybe I should shift it slightly. Okay, so where do I even begin? Where do I even begin? Excuse me while I... Okay. Let me know if you can hear that, and I'm going to start talking. So the story begins when I went to Croatia for a master workshop with Dubrovko. And one of the things we were working on Great. I'm glad you can hear it. Welcome. One of the things we were talking about was this idea, and this has to do with air code style of playing. Oh man, Jacob, you're lucky to have a Dubrovko Didge. One of the things we're talking about is how to release single bubbles of sound from the mouth. The idea is that the lips open and close, open and close, open and close. And I understood the concept when it came to using the sound T to basically initiate this movement. Right? Not too hard. It's hard to perfect, but it's not hard to start figuring that out. That's far different from the more drone-focused style playing. All of that. This is about really clear single sounds. Now, at one point, we were working on taka waka. So taka waka with drone, just like it sounds, taka, squeeze and breathe, ka. Okay, so the drone way of playing taka waka, it all kind of merges But what I saw Dubrovko do and other players do is get very distinct, just very precise bubbles of sound. Kind of like that. But I couldn't find it. I mean, I've occasionally worked on this in the 2 years or so, 3 years since. And T and K wouldn't give me two bubbles of sound. It's like T-K. It was messy. And I finally realized something. This is the breakthrough. It's going to seem small, but I think it's huge. When you make the movement of ta, ta, the tongue touches the roof of the mouth, and then with air, ta, it opens. Ta, ta. To get to K, the back of the tongue has to touch the roof of the mouth, ka, and then it opens. So you've got ta, ka, ta, ka. Ta, ka, ta, ka. Thanks for the questions about traditional playing and good didgeridoos. Those aren't quite within the scope of this video. Maybe I'll do a second live stream at some point and invite all of these questions. I'm too excited. I need to share these ideas right now. Ta, ka, ta, ka. If you start with ta, 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 that's one movement, ta. To get to K, ta, you have to close the tongue in the back. Ka, that's a second movement. And then to open up, ka, that's a third movement. Ta, ka. So if we compress the mouth and really control the lips so that every tongue movement makes a sound, what we actually get is that middle sound is my tongue closing to get to the K position, and the third sound is me going ka. The back of the tongue affects the airstream more than the front, so I can get my tongue into a T position without causing an extra push of air. But the back is harder to avoid that, so hidden inside ta-ka is a third sound. So either people didn't know this or they didn't know to talk about it. My microphone is falling down. There we go. You can probably hear me better now. Let me tighten it. Whoa. So hidden inside taka is a third sound. It's wild. It's so wild. But that's not what they were teaching me or attempting to teach me in the workshop. They kept telling me ta-ka, ta-ka, bubble of sound, ta-ka, ta-ka. How are they doing that? I finally just figured out. First of all, they kept saying, keep the mouth tight, like compress. Compress means make a smaller mouth shape. So instead of going ta-ka, we want really small space. From T, instead of ending with ta, my microphone is still sliding down. Stop, stay there. I think my stand is not liking how heavy the microphone is. From T, instead of going ta, ta, we want to end on tuk, the beginning of K, tuk. And when we go from K, ka, instead of ending a, ka, we want to end on T. Tuk, cut, tuk, cut, tuk, cut, tuk, cut, tuk, cut, tuk, cut, tuk, cut. Tuk, cut, tuk, cut, tuk, cut, tuk, cut. And suddenly, I feel like this percussive air code style of playing is possible for the first time ever in my playing. Okay, where to breathe? That wasn't enough breathing. Where do I breathe? In the workshop, they were trying to get me to go taka waka. So wa is close the back of the tongue and the throat, the top of the throat. In an motion, and breathe. So that's one way. Tuk cut instead of tuk cut. Well, it could be tuk ka. Now we can open up on purpose. Tuk ka ka, and it's already in position after the breath to open up again in ka. Tuk ka ka. So we go tuk ka ka. Interesting thing about playing this way, I'm not blowing into the didge. I'm not going, I'm not just, I'm holding a very controlled space in my mouth and creating little explosions of air with basically tongue movement. Basically my tongue is powering the whole thing and the lips are allowing a certain amount of sound to happen. Totally different feeling. It's totally different feeling than anything I've achieved before. So again, really compressed, tight, small mouth. Both Dubravko and Andrea Furlan have told me this. A few players have said, more compression, more compression. Robert, I'm sorry, I don't say his last name that well. Urelli. High back of the tongue. Really, if you think about it, you've got the lower jaw, that's like the lower third of your mouth. You've got the middle where your tongue can just stick forward. You've got the upper part between your upper teeth. We want to play really high, like the upper third. That's me just messing around. So then another way to get a breath is with P. I learned that from Andrea Furlan. His was tupa-tuka, tupa-tuka, tupa-tuka. So if I take the same idea, so I'm going to go tup, 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 tuka, tika. Oh, I love it. Okay, so this is where anyone watching now, if you have questions about this technique, I'm happy to answer. And if the folks who asked the other questions are still out there and want to ask your questions, then let me know that you're still there and I'll do my best to answer. I'll just say right now, there's no simple, straightforward answer to those two questions you've asked. For those who are just joining and watching now, I'm having a massive breakthrough when it comes to this percussive air code style of playing that I've attempted off and on for years, and I never understood this missing piece. People will say, use compression. What they mean is use a very, very small mouth space. Tiny, no big like, none of this big thing. Small. Then practice getting your lips to move. Don't worry about how precisely yet. Just get them to move with tiny articulations of the tongue. And the place to start, I would say, is T. Put your lips together and do a T, and explosive as possible. And then notice what happens as you go really relaxed with your lips. Really tight, really flat, pulled back. Start with T. Okay, so Jacob, I will answer your question about the ka sound. This was the thing I couldn't figure out all these years. I couldn't do it either. No ka. From ta, tick, tick. If you think of ka as an open position, ka, and your tongue goes from, do this, follow what I'm doing. Go ah, and then go ka, ka, ka. That's too much movement. We gotta simplify it. So put your tongue in position like you're about to say ka. You should feel the middle to back part touching the roof of the mouth. And then from there, practice a quick motion, ka motion. Now do it with your lips closed. You hear that little squeak before I do it? That's me moving into position. That's why it's hard to make a clear ka, because you've got this other mushy vibration that comes in first. So to get there, right now what I'm practicing is going from ta to tuk. Now I'm ready. Tuk. I'm in K position. Tuk. And then out. So tuk, tuk. It's like saying tuck, tuck, without opening again. Tuck. And then it's like saying cut without opening after t. Tuck, cut, tuck, cut, tuck, cut, tuck. So your tongue is really quickly shifting from tuck, cut, tuck, cut. Do that with your lips closed. You'll find it eventually. Matthew, thank you. Didgeridoo out of tin cans. When you accomplish that, show the world. Does that make sense? Yeah? Because if you're having to get to ka position, but your mouth is really tight and your lips are translating all of your movement to a sound, you're going to get an extra sound, which you can utilize. Ooh, new idea. Go, ka, It's like saying ka, k, k. This is weird because if I say the word it spells, it's gonna sound awful. Ka, close. Ka, close. Ka, k, close. The close will make a sound when you're really tight. I'm just going ka and then returning to the K start position. Ka, close, kla, close, ka, close. Hello in Belgium. Billy, at least you recognize that the question you're asking is really opposite of this. The growl sound. Yeah, the growl is voice. I don't mind asking or answering a quick technique question. Listen to the note of the drone. Use a tuner app if you have to. Ooh. If you sing the exact same note, you just get a little amplification. Ooh. If you go slightly out of tune, up or down, you get growliness. Depending on the pitch, you get different effects. Ooh. I call that one the cat purr. It's from the fundamental up 2 notes in the scale. Ooh. I love that one. That's a quick explanation. Let me just scroll, make sure I'm not missing any comments. Okay, so the next aha moment is that in the workshop, Dubravko described this idea of enveloping. I never understood it. Dubravko, if you're out there, I never understood it until this important thing clicked into place, and I hope you don't mind me sharing. And feel free to correct me if you'd like, or chime in. And if any of you out there don't know who Dubravko is, look him up. What a player. I am a total kindergarten, preschool baby when it comes to learning this stuff. That doesn't even compare. I'm just beginning to understand. Yeah, he's such a legend. Channel Islands. Cool. Tight mouth shape. If it's small, you can get to the point where every little movement creates a lip vibration. Someone type Dubravko's name in the chat. That would be helpful, if you don't mind. Super, there you go. Thank you, Jacob. Super tight, small mouth. I'm using my tongue to initiate movement. But right now my tongue is ending up in an open position. If I want to be more controlled, I want to take that movement to the next movement I want to do. So if it's another T, my tongue's going to open and then go back to pre-T position. If I want to go to K, then it needs to go from ta, ta, and end in pre-K position. Tak, ka. Oh, so enveloping. Once you get this kind of strength and control in your mouth, then your lips independently can loosen or tighten. and change position and shape to give yourself different effects. Pull away from the mouthpiece, stay with the mouthpiece. So I'm going to attempt to just go, I think just tukka, 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 and I'll just play around with what the lips are doing. Try to keep the tongue consistent. I haven't really worked in a breath, so let me get a breath in there, and I'll keep working on this idea of shaping the lip position to change the sound. So. As soon as I try to add more, I lose it. Yeah, so this is my first breakthrough in a long time. I've had some mini breakthroughs around vocals, overtones, but this is the biggest in a while. So I'm pretty excited. Okay, so let me go back to the beginning of the story, which was I was at a I was at a workshop with Dubravko, trying to understand this idea of taka waka that wasn't so drony, but was more percussive and staccato. Taka waka, taka waka. And I couldn't figure it out. The way they explained it was like single bubble of air with each sound. And you can hear when I try to make that second sound, the ka, I get this extra little squeeze, and that's from the movement of the tongue moving into position to make ka, t, ka, wa, ka. So instead I'm going to go t, ka, close for wa, and then ka, open again. And be ready for ta. So, several years later, let's see. Small mouth shape, very clear, specific, and I'm going to start with very light lips. Light lips, and see if I get closer to their bubble of sound idea. I'm hearing a bit of a on the wa, the breath, but the tas and the kas are pretty clear. That's better. Yeah, so it's working now. Now I gotta just drill that sucker. Just drill it. Okay, that's what I think the extent of what I want to share today. And that's already a 30-minute video, so. Well, I'm glad to be sharing again. It's far more exciting for me to share what I'm discovering. My whole YouTube didgeridoo journey started not with me thinking, oh, I want to teach people didgeridoo. It actually started with me wanting just to share this thing. Like, hey, look at this cool thing I'm doing. Here's what I've learned. Maybe it'll be helpful. It was never coming from a place of, this is how to do it. It's more like, this is how I've learned to do it. I hope it'll help. So, I hope the concepts in this video help you on your journey to this more percussive style playing, if that's what you're into. I have a feeling that these tips will also improve drone style playing as well. I'm just not sure how yet. Yeah, thanks for that comment, Jacob. Yeah, that's the whole idea. I realized if I'm not learning, then I won't be teaching anything interesting. It just, I need to come from a place always of sharing what I'm discovering. Breathing. So if you have a deviated septum, you could look into rolfing, R-O-L-F-I-N-G, rolfing. They do an adjustment for the nose from the inside, and I heard from Chad Butler, who used to organize Indigenous in Oregon. I heard from him that when he had that adjustment done, breathing problems, they went away. The other thing is, if you're breathing from up here or your focus is here, you create more friction in your breathing. But if you move your focus down here, you can hear the difference in my breathing. It creates less friction. So you want to expand your navel when you breathe in. For now. Eventually, you want to have a little bit more tone in your whole torso and breathe into your lungs and into your rib cage, so your rib cage expands outward and back. But for now, just to reroute your breathing, breathe down into your navel. Put your hand on your belly button and expand it out. Don't keep your mind here. Yes, Rolfing. They go into the nose and crack it or realign it. Most Rolfers will insist on 10 sessions, usually in the $100 a session range, and the nose is later on, but you could go to someone and just say, I need help with the nose. And the way Chad described it is like, he felt the crack, heard the crack, super painful, and then breathing fixed forever. So, when it comes to doing the dirty or drone? Yeah, focus on good sound. That's one thing to focus on. And then sometimes don't worry about the sound. Just get any sound, and that's where you practice the breathing. So I would much rather, with a lot of students, I would much prefer that they do something like, even if it's that, as long as they're getting the breath, but staying relaxed. So anyway, hand on belly, breathe into the belly, breathe more often. Don't wait until you're out of air, because if you're out of air, then your body goes, you know, that's too much intensity. Breathe more like, more often means you're not sucking in air so intensely. Yeah. Okay. Last chance for a question or two, and then I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more guided support, I'm going to be continuing to support my Patreon patrons, my Patreon supporters. I'll put that in the chat as soon as I can extricate my didgeridoo here. On Patreon, I do a video every week with my newest material. And there's a secret group on Facebook where people can share, and where I share tips and tricks as well. And there's private lesson time if you're at a certain level of support. So if you're interested in that, now's a good time to join. I'm going to be pushing the exercises and drills and discipline a lot more in the new year. Ooh, great question. Great question. Is the percussive easier with a smaller diameter didge? That's a good question. Did that link go up right? I don't know if that did. Patreon.com/Breathwood. Once the percussive thing is working in your mouth, it doesn't matter as much what kind of didgeridoo you have. Now, definitely certain didgeridoos will help. And toots are easier on a didgeridoo with a narrower neck. A big, fat, wide bore didgeridoo will tend to be a little bit harder to push out the toots. Yeah? But let's see this one. Oh, that one's not too hard to toot on. Once you really clarify your mouth shape, get really tiny and compressed so that every movement of the tongue translates into a lip movement. And you're strong enough for that. Then it almost doesn't matter what didgeridoo you have. Then what changes is that each didgeridoo's properties, the way that particular didgeridoo responds to sound, you'll want to learn what that is and respond to it. The way it resonates, the way it gives you something back. This comes to me from Mark Slay in the UK. Look up Nano Didge if you're interested in this one. It's a great travel didge. If you just want to be able to practice, throw it in a backpack. Learn circular breathing with your lessons. Oh, thanks for sharing that. That means a lot. Matthew, you say add me. I'm not sure what you mean, but if you go to patreon.com/breathwood, if you copy and paste, you should get there. Maybe that will help. I don't know. Yeah, so at the Facebook page. Yeah. For everyone who wants to connect on Facebook, find Breathwood on Facebook. That's the easiest way. Yeah. I'm a little bit overwhelmed with personal friend requests. It's too many people to keep track of. But on Breathwood, you'll get my updates. So, in the secret group, you get access to starting at the $15 level on Patreon. So you get both the group and my weekly videos, which people don't see on YouTube. So I decided I wanted to share more material with people who are paying something for it. So at $15 a month, Canadian, no, US. I have to check that. You can see pretty much a weekly video, which is pretty cool. So what does that work out to? It's pretty cheap. Anyway, if you have questions about that, message me on Facebook. Find me at Breathwood. Breathwood on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Okay? So last chance, 1 or 2 more questions, and then I'm out of here. We're now up to almost 45 minutes. Oh, thank you so much. This, oh, okay, here. I'll help you with finding Breathwood on Facebook right now. I'll get the link up. I don't know. You are so kind. Thank you. Mikolash? So sweet. Thank you. That's a really kind comment. See if that link works there. So that's for anyone who wants to follow me on Facebook or be in touch through my Breathwood page. And since that seemed to work, I will just double check the Patreon link. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, so found. Mikowai. And there's Patreon. Maybe that link worked this time. So again, Patreon is great if you want to support the work I'm doing. You get weekly video lessons. You get access to a secret rhythm group on Facebook where you can talk about the things I've shared and work and help each other. Higher levels of support, you get private lesson time. It keeps me going. Yeah. Have to get through as a musician. I have distant Polish ancestors, so nice to connect with you. And I will also soon be learning to play a Northern European instrument called the tagelharpa. Actually, the instrument that's closer to my ancestry is the yohiko from Finland, but I'm going to learn the tagelharpa. So I'll probably share videos of that soon too. Okay, I gotta go. It's been 45 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. Happy playing. Please send me a message if you have questions or need help, and I'll do more like this soon. Okay, I really appreciate all your support, your super kind words, your encouragement. Keeps me going. This is really cool. This is the first official YouTube live stream I've probably ever done. So peace and love to you all. Happy playing. Don't be a stranger. Reach out. Find me on Facebook, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.